Yeah, fakeouts have been a huge thing this year. We've avoided a lot of fakeouts this year, a lot. Hey, what's going on, guys? Make sure you guys subscribe, turn your noise on, and leave a like for future videos. Catch you guys there. Peace. Breakout, do you feel comfortable just buying or just selling a certain pair, or doesn't matter? Like, are you asking me like if I'm comfortable sticking to one bias on a certain pair long term?
Yeah, I feel like I've noticed that. Like some people,
Yes.
like love selling gold, buying gold, whatever. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like that way with the pair, or you're like, I don't give a fuck. I do either or. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you have like a long-term bias, like I'm not talking about the daily or weekly, like a long-term bias, for example, gold, it's safe haven, you believe it's gonna push up to make all-time highs eventually, then taking buys, you'll be obviously be more comfortable than you would be taking sell positions. Just because you have that in the back of your head playing. It's a safe haven, it's a safe haven. But then again, it wouldn't really affect the trade itself. If you're in a 10 pip scalp trade or a 20 pip scalp trade, you know, it wouldn't really affect it. Or if you even pop up 100 pips, like, but still, it'll still give you a peace of mind, I guess, in the back of your head.
Don, how do you feel about people that are like, or not people in general, but like, do you think it's possible to be a better seller or a better buyer in terms of like some people say they're better at selling when it comes to trading? You think that's a thing?
I got a tip for you, man. Yo, you click Alt I. You flip your charts if you're buying or selling. So let's say you want sells today, just flip your chart, look for sells below here. Look, that's what it looks like. But I don't know. I haven't really thought about that, honestly, Marcos. Like I haven't even heard of that, to be honest with you.
Alt I.
Because you're a day trader, right?
Yeah.
But Alt I is definitely I got you guys. Alt I will save your life. You guys asking what's the best indicator? Alt I, the best indicator. I always have one bias. Andre, do a little 360 for us, bro. Of that hoodie.
Make me full screen.
Yeah.
Well, no scope action. Ooh,
Damn.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Wait, turn around real quick. Let's see the sun. Clean. Dubs.
Clean.
How is that? Sometimes you look at the recent support and resistance, but other times you also look at older support and resistance. I look at the most left area if I'm looking for a setup. But if it comes down to an entry, I'll look further than left. It's a bit confusing. It's something I haven't really explained much on stream. It's the whole concept that, okay, I can't really find an example here, can I? Let's see. So I want to say, so right now I'm looking for a position for buy. Let's say I look for buys, right? And I want buys above this resistance here at 1868.001. Okay, 1868.001. Let's look left. Obviously, looking left, the most recent left, this is clean traffic driving price up towards the next level of resistance here, which is 1874, 1875-ish. Looking further left, you notice that every time we were able to pop up, closing above that resistance, closing above that range, we were able to pop up to minimum 1870. If anything, you're looking at 1873. Let me make these lines better. 1870, which is right here, this area, right? Or 1873 even. Every time that we close above this resistance to the left. Look at this. Closure above, we popped up to fill the range. Closure above, we popped up to fill the range. Closure above, closure above, popped up to fill the range. So you know what I'm trying to say, right? So that's the difference between looking for I want to say clean traffic setups versus clean traffic entries. Guys, it's gonna get more confusing as we go on, but because we're gonna find out, we're gonna take more losses and we're gonna learn from our losses. But this is something I haven't really explained much on stream before, but I'll get into it as we go on throughout the next coming months, 2 weeks. But it comes down to that. Looking for a general trade today though, just a basic trade, it would just be something like this. I'll be looking for buys like this above the range. Simple. Closure above, I'll execute with buys. You don't got to worry about all that left stuff. You just got to worry about the most recent left, which is this area right there.
I don't know why this shit just will never leave my brain. It's like a dragon tail. Remember that one time on stream you drew out like a full-on dragon? Someone was like, "Yo, that's a dragon tail." You went on and just like artistically like plotted out this dragon. Do you remember that?
Yeah, did you know a dragon is actually happening right now too, Andre?
Is this the dragon tail right
Yeah, right here.
Yes, it is.
It's right here.
That's the dragon tail.
That's the camel setup.
Yes.
It is a dragon.
Yeah,
Dinosaur,
it's a dinosaur too at the same given time.
Where's
But
the
now it's a
fire?
dragon.
It's supposed to breathe fire, right? Oh, I see that. Oh, what?
Yeah. So we may be getting like a nice push set later.
It's got to make the second leg once it melts.
This one with the tail here.
But but how come his neck's built like that?
Tail.
Yes, Carlo.
What
There
is-
you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
That's a
here.
tail. Yes.
That's the entry, right?
So
there.
if I were to just have Carlos drawn, I'll put the back up, Carlo.
Cell stops. This is the tail.
Yeah. Okay. Close below.
Here.
Come down.
This is the tail right here. Now you have to draw that out.
Is this what they mean by harmonics?
GJ falling hard. Yeah, I know. I see it. It's definitely falling hard. Any impulse entry takes right here? I know a lot of you guys are looking for impulse entries here. Don't lie to me, chat. Wait for our candle closer. We're closing 8 minutes here. It's not worth it to take a trade. And then you see it closing back into the range. Not worth it at all. Obviously, if it plays out though, you'll tell me otherwise, right? Bro, looking back to when I first started trading, I took some impulse entries. Yeah, I took them as well, a lot of them, until shit hit the fan, and I realized a lot of my impulse entries weren't as profitable, and I want to say they were more like, I want to put impulse entries in the category of FOMO entries, right? Because ask yourself, there's no reason to enter. There's no closures below. Like, you're kind of just thinking and predicting that we're gonna break below it, the range, as we're pushing down heavily with momentum. So like that little volume is giving you that little hype that, oh yeah, it's gonna drive down. So you take an impulse entry, which is basically a FOMO entry, and you just hope that price is gonna come down to fill the range, right? It's the middle of a candle. It's not no closure. So that's why I don't like taking the impulse entries anymore. Avoid a lot of fakeouts that normally would have been in since I started watching Dom. Yeah, fakeouts have been a huge thing this year. We've avoided a lot of fakeouts this year, a lot. The hard part about this is though, like when you're looking at these small things, like, you know, like how to avoid fakeouts, range 2 breakouts, you're gonna have less trades that you're gonna take, but they're gonna be more profitable long term. Your win percentage is gonna go higher, but you'll be taking less trades because your charts aren't just gonna look like this. It's not just gonna say, you know, range. This is a range, and you have buys above here, sells below there. That's like you're waiting for a range to break out. You're probably gonna miss the next range, and you're getting the buys above here instead. So, but it's good long term though.
I don't understand why people, and I'm not like hating, everyone can do whatever they want. I just don't understand why people take smaller quote unquote positions on like impulse entries and think it's okay. Like that, I just think that like messes you up long term. What do you think about that, Don? Like if you were to take impulse entries, instead of popping a 5, you pop a 1. Does that make it okay, or do you still don't take the impulse entries even if you're popping a 0.25, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, because I do the same, not for impulse entries though. Like I increase my lot size. Like for example, if we were to get like you see me do it, for example, stops are too big, or maybe in another case I don't get the perfect closure, but like there's no like top wick on the next candle or something, like something small like that happens. I always take like a half risk instead, but not really when it comes to impulse entries. No, I just can't stay out of them because I just feel like it's a losing trade in my books.
So
Overall,
is it the same logic as using a 2.5 lot on gold and a 5 on GJ? So you would use 2.5 even if gold was a 10 pip stop, right?
Yeah.
So isn't that the same logic? You're using less risk for a more volatile pair, or like a more risky trade, for example.
Yeah. Wait, but
That's like the logic behind it, right?
yeah, for why I use half risk for gold?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the logic behind it. Because I use a fixed lot size, right?
Yeah, because you could have a 10 pip stop and risk the same percentage as, 10 pip on GJ, but you don't do it.
Yeah, but again, at the end of the day, I definitely agree with Andre. But then I don't want to hold you guys back taking your entries, because not everyone is gonna obviously have the same trading style, like exactly trading style. Who knows? Maybe some impulse entries, a certain impulse entry would be a very valid one. But again, it's something that I haven't experimented on, or I have experimented on before, and it wasn't as profitable for me, so I stopped doing it. But everyone has their ways, right? Like, what the fuck is a start replay? Our start replay is the only like thing that's close to an impulse entry, probably. But other than that, I usually wait for closures. But impulse entries, man, a number one tip for impulse entries, if you guys are looking to enter them, is use them with volume. Obviously, you don't want to use them in a dead range. Kevin, no, it has nothing to do with Asian lows, Asian highs, New York lows, New York. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the ranges. It's just the ranges in general. The ranges. So, for example, like right here, let's say you have this. Like, don't look at the sessions or anything, right? Let's say you have a buy. You have price pushing up here. Yeah, price pushing up to the top of the range like this. Cool. You have no ranges yet. Okay, but you have that you have a support, right? Because that support has to be created at some given point. So now your support's right here, and wherever resistance is, whenever we get that bearish channel closure, it means that we have found resistance. So let's say price closes bearish at resistance now. Cool. We got a bearish channel closure at resistance. This is now a range, one range only, because you have support and now you have a resistance, like this, right? So this is a range. A range isn't necessarily a consolidation. It's just support and resistance. So now that you have a range, you are looking for buys if we were to break above the resistance, or perhaps sells if we were to break below the range. In this case, if you're looking for range 2 breakouts, you'll be following the trend. In this case, the trend is bullish, obviously. You want buys above this area right there. Or so you want range 2 buys. All right, so let's say we break up like this. Let's say you break up like this, right? You have broken resistance. This now becomes a support, and we are going to be headed up towards the next resistance. And let's say you find that next resistance somewhere here. We close bearish at resistance, and something like this happens. Boom. Right? So now you have two ranges. You have range 1, which was once down here, and now you have range 2. Because in this range here, anything can happen. We can averages again, continue up, or we can come down to create support here again. In this case, let's say price were to respect that support, and it were to respect that support to go up, right? Obviously, you wait for a closure for the breakout. Once you get that closure outside the range, indicates that we are breaking above resistance. You'll be now taking your buys going up. So now you'll be taking range 2 buys, range 1, range 2, and these are your buys above that area. So you avoid all of this right here if you were switching your buys. And that's how ranges are formed. That drawing is a bit confusing because the way I drew that second range there, but you guys get the idea of it, right? So in this case, let's say you have range 1 here. This is range 1, and now we were to break below the range like this, range 2. Like that, right? And after you break below support, what price does that? It does this. It does something like this now. It starts to pull back a little bit. You start to create that support somewhere, and we were to come up to retest that resistance. That would now be a second range, because now you have range 1, you have range 2, and now you're looking for sells below this support right there. So what you want is you want price to reject that resistance like this, and then you wait for sells below that range coming down to fill the rest of the range. And that is the range 2 buys, or range 2 sells coming down. Why when I trade them with demo, I make so much money, but my account is just meh? It's because a demo has no emotions, right? No matter what you do on demo, like there's just no emotions regardless of what you do. So it wouldn't really transfer over to a live account, emotional wise. Price action wise, yeah, sure. Your markups, that stuff you can practice, you can work on. But here's what I'm trying to say though, guys. Like, to get rid of emotions, it comes down to figuring out what trades you're willing to take and what trades, like figuring out a sample size or odd trades that you've taken. Figure out the probability rate of each certain setup. Like I have like 4 or 5 setups I stick to all day because I know that those setups are my highest probability winning trades. So those are the only trades I stick to. The starter play, the onion play, closures above ranges using current count stops, above ranges using previous count stops, whatever it is that you do. Stick to those trades because then you'll feel emotionless. That's all you look for. You don't look for anything else aside from those stuffs that you have and are waiting for. So you have no emotions. You lose a trade, cool. You lost a trade. It was just that 20% of the time that didn't play out. But you're not gonna sit here and say, "Fuck, I should have took this instead. I should wait for this instead," because it's a trade that you would normally take on a day-to-day basis. So that's how you build that no emotion trading style. You're not gonna build it by figuring out by sitting on a demo all day. I was gonna ask you, Andre.
Like that.
You said in the past you had a problem entering positions. Not a problem, but you had a thing with entering positions before the 8 a.m. opening on gold.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it now?
Good question. I feel like when something looks like it does now, like let's say it's 6:30, 7 o'clock, and you hop on the charts and gold looks like this. You're in some shitty little tight range. There's a barcode here. You're just like, there's no real sense of volume, right? Now, if you hop on the charts and it looks like this, that's a different story. Like you can tell there's volume in the market. I'm more comfortable taking a trade before 8 a.m. volume with the charts looking like this than I am with the charts looking like this.
Love it. Yes, I'm in the same boat with you. I never had an issue really taking positions before 8 a.m. Like you see me taking positions at 6:30, like 5:30. Before stream even. It wasn't always my something that was holding me back, because like if a trade's there, right? If there's volume there's volume there. Like I'm not gonna take a trade when there's no volume in general. So
yeah,
we're avoiding the ranges regardless.
I think identifying volume in the market is something that just like comes with practice. So maybe I'm like becoming more comfortable identifying the volume. I just know right now, like we're not going to move until news drops. So I was pretty comfortable not taking a trade in this little range.
Yep.